Hey, Camp Girl Boss. So I'm here with one of your favorite people. We've got Aryelle back with one of our live chats. How's it going, Aryelle?
It's going great. I hope you guys are all well.
Yeah, so it has been a super fun summer, Aryelle. I know it's been a while since you've been on to be interviewed, but we have had so many people on. We've had actual girl bosses, we've had campers on, we've had a lot of experts, and we're just super excited to have you back. So, how has your summer been?
My summer has been great. I've gotten outside so much and I just started college classes again. So I'm excited to be back in the classroom and I'm excited to learn, even if it's from like a weird remote setting.
Yeah, it's so weird. This whole year has just been weird when it comes to learning.
Agreed.
Well, so I'm really excited to have you on today because we've been getting a lot of questions from our campers in the forum and through the material about you and your journey. They all got a copy of your book, and of course, they've seen your face on all the videos as you've talked about all this awesome stuff.
Right.
And so everybody wants to know just a little bit more about Aryelle. So, you open to telling us a little bit more about your story?
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. I would love to.
Cool.
So, when I was in middle school, I say I probably was in sixth grade. I had this idea with a great friend to make an ABC book of all of the things that we wish we would have known when we were coming into middle school. And I was just like, no one talks about this. Like, no one talks about how hard this transition is. We're in elementary school for such a long time and it feels so warm and comforting. And then we go to middle school and it feels scary and
Yes.
uncertain and uncomfortable. And so we were like, let's do it. And then I started telling some adults, some teachers that I was doing this. And they were like, this is a great idea. Like, you should get this published. Um, and I was like, yeah, I really think I should. Like, I think every middle school kid deserves a book like this, and they deserve to know that they're not alone in how you guys feel. Like, I remember when I was in middle school, I felt really alone. I felt lonely. I felt disconnected. Um, and I thought I was the only one, but that was so untrue. Everyone around me was also feeling that way. And so
Hmm.
this book was really just a way to show people that, hey, we're actually not alone. A lot of us feel this way, and it's not uncommon, and it's okay. It's totally okay. What's important is just now talking about it. So after I had, some people in my life be like, I think this is a great idea, and I really think you should invest in this, I sent a couple snippets of my book to a few publishers, and one of them picked it up and they were like, I really love this idea. I think this would be a great addition to our company. But you're going to need, in order for us to publish it and go through with it, you're going to have to invest, I think it was around $1,000 to go through with this idea. And so I decided, I was like, well, I think I was probably 15 at this point, and I was like, I don't know where I'm going to get that from. And
Right.
so I went and I created a fundraiser and I did some marketing. And I know you guys are learning a lot about marketing, which is awesome. It's so important. I did some marketing on Facebook, on Instagram. I talked to my friends' parents. I talked to my teachers, and everyone just gave a little bit until I was able to fundraise that $1,000 to get the book published. Um, and then after that, the journey has just sort of taken off. And I think in entrepreneurship, and I'm sure you guys are all learning about this, it's the more that, you'll step into a project and then it'll just unfold and emerge as you
Hmm.
continue to go, as you continue to walk. And so this started as a book, but now it's sort of, progressing as a movement of encouraging middle school students to talk about your mental health, to talk about how you're feeling, to talk about, what is mental health, and to talk about, why it's normal and why it's okay, and that you are still so worthy of love, and all the good things in the world. And it's just something that it's just not talked about, and it's something I experienced that was very real in my life, and that I have healed from and really learned from, and that I think it's really important for us to start talking about it. So that's a little bit more insight into sort of my journey and what inspired me to put this message out to the world.
Well, and so now you are several years after having published and gone through this process, and you're turning it into a movement, but you're also, really discovering the next phase
Yeah.
of building your empire.
Yes.
So what are you looking to do next for yourself and for how you want to help the world?
Oh my gosh, that is such a great question. I think for me in particular, I am really focused on my education. So I'm taking classes at my university. I go to the University of North Carolina at Asheville. It's a great little small school. I know you guys have a long time before you start thinking about college.
Yeah.
But I am really invested in what I'm learning, and I'm sort of letting I have these underlying passions. My purpose of like I feel really passionate about making sure people know that they're not alone and that they're worthy and they deserve love. And so I'm letting that passion guide me in the classes that I take. I'm also now working on some research at my university of, how do middle school students, how do you all define mental health? What do you think about it? Is it talked about? And then I'm going to use that research to actually hopefully create a second edition of my book that will be more a little bit more detail oriented, and it'll be from middle school, you all's personal experiences in middle school, maybe about things that you face and things that you want to talk about and that you want your teachers to read, you want your parents to read, you want your guidance counselors to read, you things that you want your friends to read, just personal stories, because I think if we can connect on a personal level, we can see humanity in each other, and then we can all see that, we really do all deserve love, and we really all deserve to be listened to, we deserve to be heard, and we deserve to be seen at the end of the day. And so I think if we're able to do that, I think we'll just have more capacity to connect and be held by each other.
Wow. Ariel, I love you so much. I just love the way that you show up in the world. Well, so okay, so I mean that's you talked a little bit about your purpose, which is like your creative magic of
Yeah,
really supporting people and making sure that they feel loved, knowing that that's really important to you.
great.
One of the things we talk about in camp is how this journey isn't always easy. That there are a lot of obstacles, there's a lot of lessons learned. You don't typically get it right the first time. Can you talk about some of the biggest challenges that you faced in really just navigating the steps of creating this for yourself?
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
where do you start, right?
yeah, I think it's really important for you guys to know. When I talked about my story a little bit earlier, that was over a span of about 5 or 6 years.
Mhm.
Like, that did not happen in 2 weeks, 2 months, not even a year. That happened over about 6 years. And so I think for me, one challenge I faced is I doubted myself. I was like, "Is this really even gonna do anything? Is this the best investment for my time?" There were some people that, poked fun at this idea of like, "Oh, whatever,"
Always.
yeah, like,
Mhm.
I'm too cool for school. Like, I don't need a little guide to show me how to navigate my world. And what I learned is eventually at the end of the day, those are the people that actually needed the book the
Need it
most.
the most. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And the people that actually like went home and read it the most. um,
Mhm.
and it's just so yeah, that was something is I just doubted myself because I was seeking, this validation from like adults or mentors that this was a good idea instead of just trusting my own intuition and being like, this is a good idea. I have seen this firsthand affect my life, affect my friends' life, and teachers' lives in really positive ways. I should trust that and I should run with that. And so I think that's honestly a challenge I faced. And then another one was I think we're all human, and I'm just going to say it, procrastination,
Yeah.
You guys are probably, a lot of you are probably in school, and I was in school when I was doing this, and I was just like, it just kind of fell on the back burner sometimes, which is totally okay. I think it's normal, and I think we have to be gentle with ourselves. And what was really, really supportive to me in this process is having a timeline of being like, okay, my goal is to publish this book before my junior year of high school. How can I get this done? When
Mhm.
do I need this money? Um, how long will the editing process take of this book? When am I going to devote time? And so it was really important for me to create a schedule, like a set schedule of, okay, this is when I'm going to have time to edit. This is when I'm going to have time to connect with the publishers. Maybe this is the time that I really want to focus and hit hard on the marketing and the GoFundMe and things like that. So again, it was over a long period of time, and I really faced struggles with trusting my intuition and with procrastinating on this project. But I think those drivers, again, like I'm talking about my purpose, my passion, that drive of I want everybody to know they are worthy and deserving of love. And if this only affects one other person, that's enough. That's enough for me
Hmm.
to know that this is making an impact. This is making an impact. So um, for me, it was like, although I faced those challenges, I was just thinking of, another lost little girl in middle school who was struggling with mental health and didn't really know what that meant and felt alone. But maybe seeing a book like this could help them see, oh, actually, I'm not alone. This is normal. We just don't talk about it. Um,
Hmm.
and I was just thinking, if I could have that, if this book could be that for someone, that is enough. That is absolutely worth it. So it was just in those times of procrastinating, in those times of not wanting to do more after doing homework, I just thought of that, and it helped to drive me to get the project done.
That's awesome. Well, and that's a lot of the things that we look at in camp as well is, setting those success goals and the timelines. So I'm really glad that you touched on that because
Yeah,
it's really important.
so important.
Being being successful is not something that happens by accident. It happens
Mhm.
by making choices even when it stinks. Even when
Absolutely.
people say that it's not going to work or there's some days when you really just don't want to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you really got to stay grounded in that. So I'm
Yeah.
super proud of you, Aryelle, and
Oh, thank you.
and yeah, I'm really grateful to have been able to walk with you along this journey. So
Yes.
I met you right after you published that book, and so being
Yeah.
able to, yeah, to really see how it goes, and I can't wait to see the next iteration of your book. I think it's gonna be
Yes.
really cool.
I'm excited. I'm excited. We'll connect soon.
Yeah, definitely. Well, campers, we will be back tomorrow with another live stream. If you have a question for Ariel, you can post it in the forum and she can answer it there. And thank you again, Ariel, for joining us today and good luck with your new classes.
Yes. Thank you all. I will see you all soon.
All right. Bye, everyone.